Welcome back, guys. We're going to finish our Scream picture today by adding some color and some background to it. Okay, so I want to go over a couple things real quick. Last time we drew our little character, and today we're going to start by putting his background in. Now, if you remember from the original piece of art that I showed last week by our good friend Edvard Munch, he was standing almost like on a little boardwalk. If you think of like a pier or a dock or something like that from like a beach, it looked like he was standing on a little walkway. So I want kind of that same look on your picture. So I'm going to start with almost like a diagonal line, but I don't want to draw over my guy. So I'm going to kind of go this way. And when I touch my dude, boop, I'm going to jump and keep that line going. So it's almost like one diagonal line, but it crosses through him, but I don't want to actually cross over him. Okay, so I got my little line there. And then if you want the little posts, you could put little sticks coming up. That could look pretty cool. And then you could put a second little diagonal line kind of going down like that. And that would give it kind of that same look as the original Scream picture. But I also want you to think about what we could add to our picture that is making your character afraid. So I've got this little kitty cat here, and he's like, ah! Maybe there's a dog kind of chasing him, running after him. Or maybe there's something in the background like a storm, or there, you could add whatever you want to yours to make it look cool. So we can kind of put some kind of background, but I mostly want to put some really cool colors in my picture. So to do that, I'm going to give you some options. The first option is if you want to just use crayons, that would be perfect. Crayons or markers are fine. But however, I thought this could be a cool chance for us to mix some things together. This might be a fun chance to mix. So if you have paints, if you have watercolors, this might be a fun chance for us to mix them with crayons. Or if you got one of those fancy little art sets for Christmas or your birthday that has oil pastels in them, this is a great opportunity to bust out the oil pastels. Oil pastels are really fun and cool because when you're using them, they're kind of smeary, which is pretty cool. So if you put a couple colors near each other, like Mr. Galloway is doing right here, you can then take your finger and kind of smear them together and get a really flowy, cool look. Look at that, isn't that awesome? So I think this is kind of the style that that Munch might have used on his paintings, that smeary, flowy, expressive style. So if you have oil pastels and you want to use those, that would be cool, and then you can take your finger and kind of smear your colors at the end. If you don't have them though and you just want to use crayons, that's perfectly fine. But I do want us to kind of use that style of art almost like Edvard Munch used, that he had a lot of colors kind of near each other and going together, and he just had them flowing together and making these cool little wavy wiggles. You can almost see the wind blowing or the sky clearing, or it looks like there might be a storm coming. So we're going to do kind of that too. So when you're coloring, I want you to think about colors that are close together. Maybe colors that are neighbors on the color wheel. So when I say neighbors on the color wheel, this is a color wheel here. You can kind of see which colors go beside each other. Like, you know that orange is made by mixing red and yellow together. So these three are going to be really good buddies. They're going to be neighbors on that color wheel. There's a fancy name for that. It's called analogous, if you want to get fancy, but you don't have to. We'll talk about that when you're a little later when we're in school together. But when you're coloring, think about those colors that are neighbors on the color wheel. Maybe you want blues and greens and purples together. Maybe you want reds and purples and blues together. Maybe you want oranges and yellows and pinks all together. So think about what colors might be good. Now I'm going to take a little time to color in my sky, and I want to do some of these wavy lines. So maybe I'll just start by putting some wavy lines in my background. I'm just going to put a couple wavies in. I'll pick a color. And then I'll get another color, and I'm going to put it beside it. Ooh, this is looking cool. Okay, so I got some wavies in. I'm putting colors beside. Maybe I'll get a lighter color, and I can color over both of those like this. But I want to fill my background in with lots of fun wavy colors that are neighbors with each other. So maybe I'll just kind of go and do that for a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to color my sky first. Okay, so I filled in my sky with lots of fun swirly colors. Now, maybe I'll pick some different neighbors to do my boardwalk behind my little screen guy. So I'll do that real quick. Maybe I'll do some blues for that. This time, instead of swirly lines, I'm going to have kind of lines going straight down with my neighbory colors. Okay, and then last but not least, I'm going to color my little characters, and you can just fill in, you know, whatever colors you want for them. I would probably use some colors you haven't used yet so that they pop out and look pretty cool. But you can kind of pick what color you want your character to be. Maybe I'm going to make this a little black kitty, so I'll put some little furry lines in first. With my black. And then maybe I'll color him with gray. I think that would look nice. So those black lines still show up nicely. Looking cool. I'll give him some pink ears. And why don't I give him some yellow eyes? And just for some nice added details, maybe I'll put a little blue in to his fur too. Edvard Munch loved mixing in extra colors to kind of really make it look more interesting and expressive. Ooh, I forgot my pup. I'm gonna make him a red dog so he sticks out. He's like Clifford. Do you guys know Clifford? Is Clifford too old? Do people still know who Clifford is? Alright, so I've got my really cool Scream picture ready to go. I think it's looking awesome. If you tried out the oil pastels and you want to take your finger and smear some of them, that would be cool. If you colored some with crayon and you want to put in some extra color with your paints to fill in some of these little spaces, that could look really nice. But I cannot wait. Ooh, look at that. The crayon is pushing off the paint and it's filling in any little holes I had, but also it gives it this cool effect, which looks pretty neat. So I cannot wait to see what you guys came up with for this project. I hope you had fun learning a little bit about Edvard Munch. Munch. You could go either way with that. And yeah, I can't wait to see how these bad boys come out. So, I will see you next time, guys. Some of you I'll be seeing in the building, which is really exciting. I'm glad we are getting a chance to learn together in person. And if I don't, then I'll keep posting videos and you can keep up with me that way. All right. See you next time, guys. Bye.